Hello. How are we all doing today? Hopefully better than the light bulb in my room because it died. And I would have changed it, only it died about 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. It's red hot, so that's not maybe the best idea in the world. So today we are going to be doing, well, basically continuing on from yesterday. How am I today? Reasonably good. I'd be a lot better if I remembered to go into my Logic Profiler and turn down the centering spring. There we go. Problem solved. Hello EJ, Simulator Gaming, Barn Lodge, Witchy, and Yanis, and Dal as well. Happy birthday, Dal. So, yeah, we're just going to continue on directly from yesterday. Hello, Farming Man. I'm getting good at this farming thing. He says getting the seeder stuck on the tractor again. So, I'm gonna start. I'll ask a question for to you guys later because I'm just looking in. There's not enough people in here really for me to get a fair assessment yet. Hello AC as well. I want to thank whoever bought a set of Corsa on the Instant Gaming link last night. I appreciate that. Was it last night? It was last night. It is very much appreciated, and I think you'll enjoy the game, whoever it was. After the stream yesterday, I went into Project Cars 2 and decided to do some silly laps of the Nürburgring, of the Nordschleife, because I was talking about it in the stream, and I decided to, why not? I ended up doing laps in a Nissan R92 CP. Was it the R92 or R89? One of the two. An old Group C car, and I've just realised that my chat is in the wrong position ever so slightly. Not gonna make the same mistake as I did yesterday. There we go. That's chat in a happier place. Oh, that's supposed to be raised, Dave. That was not what you were supposed to do. Hello, Tom as well. Tom Drury in Iowa Farming. Hello. Hopefully we'll have a better stream today than I did yesterday, because yesterday's stream I was not happy with at all. Hugh and Martin's Photographs. Hello. You're downloading War Thunder. That's not a bad game. Yo, you can just sit over there. As things are reasonably good today. I'm going to. I might have to turn off the face cam, and if I do, I'll have to do a bit of rejigging of the main scene I'm using in OBS, because my main light bulb, which I use to kind of illuminate my head area and behind me, that died. So there is a small chance that I'll have to. What was wrong with yesterday's stream? What was right with it? Chat was silent. I was in a bad mood. I got into a bad mood because everything started going wrong, and it just wasn't a very good stream at all. I suppose it doesn't matter if I just go up here with it like this. You can see me in the beard just fine for now, but the sun is going down, and there is a very real chance that it'll get very dark in here. I'm hoping this screen over on this side will illuminate my face enough so that I can continue, because you can see like kind of when usually there is a bit of a shadow forming think I've... Oh, I do. Thank you, Foxtrot, for letting me know. Do I have the bottom blur turned on at the moment? I do not. You're meant to put Cedar down. Cedar was intentionally up. I was trying to decide where I wanted to start the headland, or yeah, where I felt the headland was gonna go. Then I realised it didn't matter too much. Hello, Glengar. Let me try something real quick. If I turn this light on, that might help. Downside is it's now causing a glare on my screen. So if I were to tilt that over, it's just going to cause a glare no matter what I do. What if I just point it backwards like that? That's just not going to help at all, is it? Yeah, let's turn that off. Ow, I looked straight into the bulb. Hello, JMF. How am I today? I'm good. It was better. See, the thing is it was preventing me from seeing the screen, so it was by far worse. I'll just make do with it being a bit dark. And if it gets too dark, I'll just rejig the scene a bit. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I basically need to do 2 more. I'm going to do 2 really short passes over this side here. Doesn't this class have articulation? Nope. This is a Zerion. It's not articulated. It looks like it is, but that's because of this cool trick you can do. Like you can see now that I've got the cab lifted up, it's not articulated at all, but the cab can spin. Let's just put the cab back. The reason the farmer disappears, by the way, is because Giants couldn't figure out how to get the seats to spin without the farmer's legs glitching out of the cab. Which is fair enough, I suppose. You know, if you can't get something to work without glitching, you just turn off the bit that glitches. So that's why the farmer mysteriously disappears. It helps if I have the cedar raised. Hello, Yuso. We still do have a decent sized portion of the field left to seed up over there. Over this way. This way as I'm looking at it, this way as you're looking at it. And that's going to take a little while to... well, it's not going to take a little while to do. It'll be done in basically no time. But... we'll do one more pass here and then we'll head over to the long pass side of the field. Do I want a floodlight from a side for my lighting? No, that would be far too overkill, Foxtrot. I'm currently illuminated by a 3-watt LED facing that direction and shining into the back of my desk, so it's kind of... that's why the light isn't too harsh, because I've got it diffusing through my desk. These all better be like lined up correctly. They mostly are. So now we get to do more long passes. You're ploughing with a Unimog. Well, that works. Overkill for some people is having a giant work light. Yes, I think overkill for most people is having a giant work light in a tiny room. That would probably completely swamp out my webcam if I did that. Because as it is, I'm kind of when I've got my full lights on, the webcam's kind of running at the limit of what I can cope with. How's this thing? Half full. Good. So I will, after the stream, have the fun of changing a light bulb in the dark. Luckily, I have my mobile phone here, which I can use to illuminate the room very easily. Shouldn't cause a problem. Fun little thing is, Unimogs in real life do actually plough. Clocks go forward tonight. Oh no! Oh! I'm talking about the wee side light. That's still too big for my room. Does Landy stream on weekends? Yes, he does. He'll be streaming after me, presumably. Although he is watching a lot of Far Cry 5 videos today. He's been, he's starting a binge. How much battery does my phone have? 86%. So enough to change a light bulb in 2 hours' time. How long is the stream going to be? I'm going to go until 7 o'clock GMT. Tomorrow's stream, Iowa, for you will probably be like an hour earlier and end an hour earlier. Because our clocks are moving tonight, which means I'm going to stay on the same timeline, so 5 to 7, it's just that 5 to 7 will move to be an hour earlier than they are today. Because the bloody clocks are moving tonight. That means I'm going to have to go to bed early by my standards. It's a blessing in disguise for my sister who's off tomorrow. She would have been quite annoyed if she had an early shift tomorrow with the clocks moving. You're ploughing in the snow because the ground is 0 degrees. Fear the deer, that is probably going to cause problems. Glengar is confused. America's clocks already moved Glengar. So if you're living in America, if you're watching me from the US of A, the streams will appear to be an hour earlier tomorrow. Both mine and Landy's. Because we are operating on basically UK time. I know that I live in Ireland, but we operate on the same time zone as the UK. And the clocks are moving tonight, so for the Americans watching, the streams will seem an hour earlier and seem to end an hour earlier tomorrow. In the same way that they've been an hour later than usual for the last couple of weeks. Since your clock's moved, so they'll just move back to the times they used to be. You're only sliding off a hill. Yeah, but how quickly are you going? Because soil mod doesn't tend to like, You guys change clocks a week later? It's been 2 weeks. BST only in the UK, Foxtrot. It's IST here. It's Irish summertime. Because we have to be different. 6 miles an hour. That's not too bad. I thought Solmod hated people trying to plow when the ground is frozen. I'm guessing the ground isn't actually frozen. Because if you try and plow when the ground's frozen, you're going at like 1 mile an hour, if not less. Same thing, pretty much different name, which is important. Hey, Killzone, you're busy for a while. That's fine. So here's a question for you guys, with 35 people currently watching. Hey, 40. Hey, Brad. Would you guys be interested in seeing a Subnautica video series from me? I'm intentionally saying video series because the game isn't suited to me streaming it because it scares the crap out of me sometimes, and I would need to edit it to bleep out swearing. Yes, okay. So that might be something I do over the weekends. It won't be for a couple of weeks, because again, like in the next week I need to record basically 2 weeks worth of videos. So it won't be for a couple of weeks that I'll start this. And I guess I could record late-ish at night. Subnautica, which would make it even more scary. So yeah, I'll I could stream it on Twitch and swear all I want. That's another idea, yeah. Is that I could stream it over on Twitch when I have the time. And actually record it while streaming to Twitch. The Reapers are coming for me. Oh, yeah, I have seen Reapers. They've murdered the crap out of me. Those things are scary looking. But I will be starting, because I do have an existing save in Subnautica that I've got like 6 hours in. I would start a new game for it, just so that you guys get to see all the progression. Because like where I'm starting from now, it wouldn't make sense to start from. Hello, Aaron. Thought I said creepers. They're kind of like creepers. Have I been down to the sea? No. I've barely been past 100 meters because I'm terrified of what lies beneath. I've seen the giant sea whale things with the reefs, the like coral reefs on their back. I like them, they look cool. My Cyclops name, I don't have a Cyclops, Farming Man. I only have the, is it the Sea Moth as the first one? Like after the water glider thingy. I have the Sea Moth, and I've been kind of buzzing around in that. I got that last night, and I've been buzzing around in that. I'm gonna screw my head off. I've played it already. Foxtrot. I've got like 6 or 7 hours into it. Do I know any more about FS19? No more than you do, Aaron. There's been no information released. There's chat better today? It seems it, Michael. But it's still early days. We're still only 20 minutes in. It seems views are down today. I always have something to complain about. But when YouTube is destroying itself the way that it is, I'm not entirely surprised. Oh yeah, totally Glengar. Considering Sim and Landy are both media partners and don't have any way of playing the game yet. I wish... I really wouldn't, because that would mean I'd have even more to do off camera. Like, this might sound bad, but Bill, what the crap? Bill coming down with his health issues is actually kind of beneficial for me, because testing for Lone Oak, for those of you who don't know, has been put on hold due to Bullet Bill's health issues. And it means I don't feel any pressure to go into the map now and have a look around. I do want to go in and look around for myself, but I don't feel like I need to. I don't feel like there's a need to test anything, so I can have a bit of a mess around and break stuff and do the thing that I want to do, which is bound to solicit a few laughs. Would I ever do a multiplayer server with Sim and Landy? No, because none of us like multiplayer. What's wrong with Bill as a private? It's Bill's business.
Hello, Dave. Is that Dave?
Honest answers, I don't know. Honest answer is I don't know. It's Bill's business. I'm not gonna pry. All I can do is wish him well and hope he gets well very soon indeed. You know, severe Larrington 3D model completed. I saw like the picture you got up on Facebook of it. It looks interesting. I had to look up a few pictures of the real one. That's an interesting looking piece of equipment for sure. A word of advice, 4D, keep the polys as low as you possibly can. And make sure and use the correct DDS formats. DXT... I'm gonna get this right, so just give me a second. DXT1 for anything that doesn't have transparency. I think it's DXT... It's either 3 or 5. You'll have to ask somebody who's got a few mods out about that. It's either 3 or 5 for stuff that does have transparency. If the map is ready for testing, couldn't you guys crack on with testing? When he's ready, he can start working on the issues. Yeah, but DXT5, thank you, Gringar. Yes, but it's not going to be a short-term thing by the sounds of it that Bill's going to be down with. And Carter Thaldorf, I haven't forgotten about you. Thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the RainbowDave Madhouse. Hope you enjoy your stay. Like we could... The Frontier team, and myself and Landy, who are apparently now part of the Frontier test team, we could test it, yes, but with the amount of time it might take for him to improve enough to work on the map, there's no rush to test, is what I mean. Like, we're not gonna... The Frontier guys aren't gonna be going mental like they did on Oakfield, from what I've been hearing. Speed recovery. I think that goes without saying that everybody in the farm sim community does wish Bill a very speedy recovery from whatever ails him. I may as well be part of the test team. I don't know. I don't think I'm that good at modding, to be honest. Like, I'm good at seeing things and breaking things, but I'm not that good at modding. Like, you guys seem to think I'm this modding guru. I'm just this dude who remembers crap. I don't know why, but I was holding my breath there, and I have legitimately no idea why I was doing that. Have the notifications for the stream gone out yet? Because, like, it's very quiet today. Whatever released any of my mods. Donetsk. I really don't know if I'm ever going to finish that map. FS19 I do plan on releasing a map though. I've learned a lot from Donetsk, and if I were to work on a second map now, it would come together a lot faster, because I've learned a lot of stuff that would check Discord admin. He's been helping with answering questions. He knows a lot, but I mean, sometimes he's... Thank you, Itchy. That doesn't explain it. Sometimes, Brian, I mean no disrespect to him, he's a bit clueless. He does things his way, and his way is not always the correct way. Hello, River Johnson and Cornish Simmer Matty. How am I? I'm good. You have to say, very nice guy. I'm not saying he's like the worst guy in the world ever. I'm saying that, you know, sometimes he's wrong and he doesn't want to admit it. And yeah, YouTube does have a weird issue with signing people out at random. He's hard-headed, and sometimes he gets these ideas that are just horrifically wrong. You gonna go play that more? Fair enough, Foxtrot. And for everybody wondering, I don't have anything against CD models, because I know I've been ripping on them a bit lately. I genuinely don't have anything against them. I'm just being a bit more honest with stuff that I know about him from experience. Because he is a nice guy, but he's very hard-headed and can be very abrasive. If he decides he doesn't like somebody, he lets them know it. It seems to be, by the way, that YouTube Gaming is signing people out completely randomly. See, he was in... Yeah, he's in Chris's Discord now. I get the feeling he thinks I've got something against him, which I really don't, but meh. If he wants to think that, he can. I don't particularly care enough to correct him. Only problem on YouTube for you is videos being late in the sub box. Yeah, that's a problem they never seem to be bothered fixing, because they're too busy talking about Will Smith on Twitter, or how they got some nominations for the Daytime Emmys, which nobody cares about. Isn't it lovely that YouTube cares about the creators? You know, oh, we got some nominations for this award that nobody gives a damn about. And oh look, Will Smith got his first 1 million subscribers. And okay, well, what about changes to the platform? What about fixing the sub box issue that's always there? Nobody does. A word of warning, 4D. He has been running into issues with Giants consistently due to his models. Because his models he tends to make his models too high poly. And he also doesn't seem to like using anything to smooth out the shading. So every single hard edge that is there, it is visible. There are two things you need to look at that he doesn't, is like reducing poly counts as much as possible and smoothing the hard edges, because they're two of his big weaknesses. And also, for whatever reason, he makes everything just insanely heavy. Best advice I can give you is look up the real weights, set the density so that the real weight is, or so that the weight of the modeling game is probably within about 10% of the real world one, because there's always going to be, without you going insanely into detail with the density, you're gonna get it wrong. Yes, I can talk about CD. Yeah, I'm giving 4D advice based on CD's stuff, because if he's using CD's stuff as a base, then I'm just giving him a heads up on stuff to look out for. What else was that? I refilled this completely at one point and it's almost empty again. Good lord, how much spelt does this thing reckon it? Fuel 31. Spelt 6,000. Oh, that's why. This better have a stupidly high yield. High poly. Yeah, SFG, I've already covered the high poly thing. With the Abbey specifically, I can pinpoint what the problem is. It's the pipes he's got around the outside. He's used I think 32 edge pipes when thank you, Dal. Michael, you should know better than that. Hey SFG, just tuned in for a bit. I'm doing good. Might be letting you make some changes to the abbeys. If he does, change the pipe, change the model of the pipe to have fewer polys, because that's what the problem is. That's the problem he ran into to Giants, and they were saying that it's stupid high poly. That's where the problem is specifically. A few of the Frontier test team had a look at it, and is specifically where the problem is. And if you plan to release through Giants, they will insist on you changing the pipes. Well, they'll insist on like a poly reduction, which would the easiest way to do it would be swapping out the pipes. Yeah, let's refill this again. I regret deciding on Spilt now, because this is a crop that has just insane seed requirements. Isn't Peter J? He is not SFG. I actually had a look at his Facebook page yesterday. It's not him creating it, it's a friend of them. It's a friend of his creating the abbeys, and they look amazing. They look truly stunning. They're current era abbeys. They've got the current logo on. They've got all the stuff that I'd see in a brand new abbey tanker right now. What's the highest poly count for Giants? It depends on what you're making, because what you're making will decide what Giants want as a top-end poly count. Nishma's creating them. Not the same guy, but isn't Nishma also formerly NI modding? Yes. So the old NI modding have split, but they're still making mods. I thought so. I thought Nishma was ex-NI. Got a whole lot out of the spelt on Oakfield. Well, I'd hope you'd get a lot out of it, considering how many seeds it takes. It's expensive to plant. Why are you not refilling? Oh, because you decided you weren't in the trigger. Nishma's the original. They are the original abbeys. Ooh. You see, that makes me happy. Because those abbeys, I remember them from FS13 because I always used them. They were, and still, possibly even are still. Here's an FSUK. Oh yeah, it was FSUK mod team era that they were made, wasn't it? The FSUK mod team morphed into NI modding. He's making a boom tanker too. Yeah, it's the original pack he's redoing. Those abbeys were, and still possibly even are, my favourite mod ever for Farm Sim. Yeah, there was a manure spreader in it as well, which Abbey don't make that anymore, so I wouldn't expect to see that. How do you find out what specs your laptop are? If you hit Windows key and R and then put in DXDiag and hit enter. NI was a merge of FSUK and Eurodesian. No, NI was just a follow-on from the FSUK mod team, formerly the LSUK mod team. Eurodesian merged into them at the end of FS13. So for the majority of FS13, NI and Eurodesian were two separate mod teams, but working together. Multiple tanks in the spreader. Yes, there were 3 tanks, a big tanker, a small tanker, and a nurse tanker, and a manure spreader. Thing is, Glengar, I don't think Abby still make that model of manure spreader. I think they moved on to something closer to what Brian made, or CD made. Peter J came from Euro DZ. No, Peter J was NI modding. Because he's continuing on. He might well have been Euro DZN. I don't know, Glengar. I can't answer that question. Follow. Tell you what you should do, Glengar, is have a look at the mods he's bringing out and trace them back to FS13. See which. They don't seem to make them anymore. Yeah. See which group brought out the mods that he's converting over. The tankers seem to be a bit different too. By and large they're the same. Like you can still buy the older model tankers off Abbey and they'll still make them. It's just a kind of pushing a bit harder for the bigger equipment now, because it's, I guess, they're big in Australia, so they're kind of pushing towards bigger equipment so that they can ship it out over there, and it makes them a bit more money, I guess. But they'll still make the smaller stuff, the single axles. Anybody remember the Red Rock? I don't, because I only ever used the Abbeys. Nishma has the older decals. I thought they were the newer ones, no? The old style Abbeys are just nicer. Plus, I mean, if you can still buy them brand new in that spec, then it's not really a big deal. And even if you can't, you can buy them used for sure, because there's a... I don't know what the hell it is, but there's a place in the next town over that has like a weird collection of slurry tanks. There's a couple of Majors, a couple of Abbeys, a couple of Red Rocks. If it's 13, it's using the same as... Ooh, it just makes it better. When the cane trailers worked properly, because they were made competently, yes. There's so much that I'd like from FS13 to come up, but competently, not the kind of questionable converts we've been getting. With the exception of Peter J. His converts are good. Like, the guys that know how to model make good mods. The guys that don't make questionable converts. See you, Hamish. Hey, Lancey, how you doing, dude? You never got back to me on that problem you were having. Did you solve it? Or are you still having it? Because I don't know if you know this, I've actually swapped over to OBS full time, so I'm a lot more competent with it now than I was before. Peter, yes, he had the 550. You gave up. Yeah, send me a few screenshots of what you're seeing in like OBS, and then your device manager for like microphones. And I'll see if I can't figure out what your problem is. It could be something as silly as your microphone doesn't have its drivers installed. Now, what am I doing after I finish sewing? Good question, Aaron, because I have no idea. I haven't planned that far ahead. Have Bill or Oxy ever made... Lance, if you send me a few screenshots of like your OBS window for like sound input, and then your recording devices screen in your Windows device manager, I can figure out what the problem is and tell you exactly what you need to do to fix it. Maybe up and streaming in no time after that. European modders yet make so much Irish stuff. It's because they're from FSUK. Like, here's the thing, FSUK is very much British and Irish based, so you'll see a lot of British and Irish equipment, and I love it. And it's really funny. Something I find hilarious is some of the best modders I've ever seen for Farm Sim, in terms of consistent high quality in every way, consistently. Who's the modder? That was CD, so that's probably not going to see the light of day, which is a shame. To me, that's the biggest shame, because that New Holland Bader looked amazing. The FSUK just seems to breed the best modders in terms of quality and consistency and knowledge. Are Abby's popular in mainland Europe? No, not really. Mainly because in mainland Europe, there's actually, and I explained this to Landy when he was complaining about the new slurry spreader he's got, that it didn't have a splash plate function. You can't actually use splash plate spreading or broadcast spreading in the EU. You make your own mods with Blender or Maya if you want to get fancy. Peter says he only makes what he wants to make. Yeah. It's not that they're forced into making Irish stuff, it's that they're from they're kind of based on a website that has a lot of Irish people on it. And a lot of British people too. Michael, thank you very much for the €1.14 donation. That is not showing up very well. I'll fix Streamlabs later. So that's... which way do I need to go here? Okay, so what I've done there is I've turned the exact wrong direction. I want this on semi. So I'll be doing this manually. Semi just activates everything properly. That's why there isn't a square beta mod for FS17, so people have to buy the Coon Pack. I'd love to know why there isn't a square bale wrapper for FS17 in terms of mods. Does anybody play a Assetto Corsa and know how to set up a manual gearbox with a G29? Same as the G27. If you've got the shifter for the G29, it's very, very simple. You just go into your control options and one by one move it into gear. And just say, gear 1 is this, gear 2 is this, gear 3 is this, gear 4 is this, gear 5 is this, gear 6 is this, and gear 6 is this, and then reverse is this. Because obviously it's only a 6-speed shifter. The is it thrust? Yeah, the Thrustmaster TH8A shifter does have, I think, 8 gear positions and reverse. But you only really ever need 6. You have £1, so it's €1. Ah, very cool, Michael. Thank you very much for the donation. Love a 998. Yeah, 998 would be amazing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do something here that might make no sense, might make a lot of sense. I'm gonna use track 1, track 2, and then track 4, because track 4 is the headlet or the tramline track, and I actually want 3 tracks before that, the tramline, or 2 tracks before the tramline even. Do I ever play Fortnite? Nope, can't stand it. Can't stand people talking about it because it's a game that I'm not interested in. It's a game that I'm constantly asked if I play. It's a game that when I tell people that I don't play it, I'm then asked, why do I not play it? Because I don't like it. I don't need a reason to play games. Or I don't need a reason to not play games. I play games that I like.
Hello, Dave.
SFG, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the RainbowDave Madhouse. Hope you enjoy your stay. Proper Gamer 15, hello. Do I play Pure Farming? No, because it's a hot mess, quite honestly. The only way I play it is basically if it was on very, very heavy sale, or if they sent me a key. Now, they haven't done either, so I don't have Pure Farming, nor do I particularly want it right now. It's not worth the money that they're asking for. That much I will say. They didn't do the market research, they're overcharging for too little, and they're yeah, doing a bit of a money grab by spamming DLC, because like day one there were 5 different DLCs. See you, Michael. Hello, Adam. That's not how you sell a game to people, by having 5 day one DLCs. How much is it? Too much. I think it's like 30 or 40 euro. So it's a lot more expensive than Farm Sim. And then you have to buy the DLCs on top, the 5 DLCs that are released day one. Which, 2 of them are tractors, one's a combine, one's just like a pack of clothes for some reason. And then you pay like 6 or 7 euro to get a map that has sheep on, because that's the only way you can use sheep in that game. Yeah, PUBG ads are just everywhere. And I have to admit, I love YouTube for insisting all the content is PG and then putting completely inappropriate ads like PUBG on top. Why did... that's a question, SFG. Why did Giants include JCB in FS17 but charge for it in FS15? Simple reason is they signed an agreement with JCB midway through FS15, and part of that agreement, the licensing agreement, was that JCB would be in FS17. I believe they're also confirmed for FS19, but that they could also be in FS15 as a DLC, and the DLC was sold basically to cover licensing costs. Do I live in Ireland? Yes. Can't wait for FS19. I don't think many people can. It's the general thing I'm getting from you guys. I may end early, by the way, because views are just horrifically low today. And while chat's moving quite nicely, there's nobody watching. And which I think you may in fact have been correct. Same with the new same deal there, SFG. Do I live in Waterford? Nope, Tipperary. I think you may in fact have been right, Witchy. In which case, I've decided what I'm going to do for tomorrow's stream and see if that makes any difference. Forgot to turn off MR again, didn't I? So let's get this onto track 2. Actually, track 3, because then I only need to flip it forward once. And here's the bit where I need to be a bit careful. Hey, farming man. Are Tip gonna win? Are they playing? I don't really follow sports. I barely even follow the Formula 1 anymore because it's just too predictable. Qualifying was on this morning, and oh look, Lewis Hamilton's on pole. Hey, look at me care. You're gonna get a PlayStation for your birthday next Thursday. Very nice, Jack. Very nice indeed. You've been here, why are you saying hi? Because you said hi. Hey. Hello, Harry. I don't keep track of who's watching and when. I see hi in the chat, I say hi back. Hello, Fahi. This may be a curtailed stream. I might not continue much longer. I see the class getting put to use. Yeah, it's nice to see people not complaining about it today, at least. Hello, Fen Farmer 85. What's my favourite map? Oakfield, for sure. Really struggling streams lately. It seems it, doesn't it? Like, between chat being slow and nobody deciding to watch. I'm kind of wondering if I should even bother continuing with Oakfield at this point. Because it's difficult to figure out what on earth to do. Because I'm enjoying Oakfield. I'm really enjoying playing on it, but if nobody's watching, then what's the point of bothering? That could be a two-fire, it could be burnout, but I've not struggled this much for streams for such a prolonged period in a while. Is class in the description? No, it is not. It's on Giant's Mod Hub Killzone. I think I've decided what I want to do for tomorrow's stream, though. Manual gearbox only work with certain cars. Yes. I think the way that a Soul Corsa works, manual gearbox will only work in a car that actually has a manual gearbox. You know, Oakfield and the fact you have two farms on it. Yeah, you got. I love the fact there's two farmyards. Some people like complaining about stuff like that on maps, but I genuinely love it. It's a bit more realistic than just having the one. Like, I don't know of many areas, at least near me. So, a bit biased towards Ireland more than the UK, but there's not many places near me where there's like one giant farmyard and then a ton of fields around it. It's always like a bunch of smaller yards. Like, sure, a farmer will have a main yard, but there'll be satellite yards kind of surrounding it at the same time. How much have I played West Coast? Probably about 200 hours. Around you, there's a bunch of small farms, yeah. Do I use Premiere Pro? Yes. Yes, I do, SFG. Because it renders a lot faster than Sony Movie Studio. Or Vegas, or whatever it's called this week. Vegas is horrific for trying to render. I used to use it, but with render times of 2 hours, it's kind of pointless. I can render in Premiere in like an hour or so. I think the FS17 burnout started early due to S19 announcement. No. I think it's... Well, this is one of the more difficult times of year because people, it's just after, it's not long after Christmas, people are in school, people are dealing with exams and stuff. The summer, if the summer of FS15, the last summer before 17 is anything to go by, should be fairly bumper, but it's difficult to do much at the moment because of burnout and general lack of interest. I want that out, please, and I want track number 4. Hello, Landon. Oh, I don't need that out, do I? This is the final... Yeah, this is the final pass I'll need. And I'm gonna intentionally overlap a bit here. So this is our headland pass. I don't know if you have the big farm, you got all modern stuff, and the small farm, you got old stuff. Yeah? What did Landon say that got that happening? Nope. Let's just do that real quick. We have the mod, you could maybe add some greenhouses. I could do. That wouldn't be a bad idea, actually, for something to throw into the placeable yard of the main farm. There's a couple of greenhouses. See you, Killzone. Uh, 5 PM GMT, so... No, 5 tomorrow, Witchy. It's just because the clocks are moving, it'll seem earlier to the Americans. You wonder, can the... That's a good question. That's a really good question. That's something I want to try and figure out. I said I was going to stream earlier. No, I said it would seem earlier with you. I'm going to stream at 5, but because the clocks are going forward, I was talking specifically to the American viewers and saying it would be an hour earlier for them. I know people aren't here farming, man. I think Witchy was right in what she said in the admin chat and Discord. Will be handy. Free compost from the maker. Yeah. Huh. See, now I'm thinking, do I get a greenhouse? Because that would be 110% worth it. If it takes compost. Even if it doesn't... I'm making money from the manure. Hey, Blash! And it'd be consistent money from the manure, so it'd probably be worth more than just selling the manure straight off. Has anybody tried that? Tried using the greenhouses of compost yet? Could have belts feeding them. Well, no, because they need to be fed so rarely. I'm gonna give that a try and see what happens. And just as I thought, the face cam is now becoming very dark in the background. Neither have I, Faye. That's... But I don't remember if they took compost in 15. We're almost done with this field, though. We just need to finish this headland and then we're good. It is not. It is... It's not what? What is not? Just got news, you'll be living next to a person that flies Chinooks. Now you'll never sleep. You'll get used to that fairly quickly. You get used to stuff that you hear a lot very quickly, it just becomes background noise. Is that the man engine sound on the class? It might be. I don't know. I haven't looked into what... I haven't looked into the XMLs of this thing at all, so it might be, but... I have no idea whatsoever. Getting dark. Yes, it is. I can see it in... I can see that it's getting dark on the webcam. I'm not having one of my blind days, so that's definitely a thing that's actually happening. On calm days, you can hear the train. That doesn't bother you anymore. When I was in the UK, I used to live next door, like pretty much next door to the hospital, and there were always ambulances and sirens going off, and you just kind of ignored them. Hello, Ollie. It's not... Landon, I'm not arguing with you. It is getting dark. I can see that it's getting dark. I'm going to just pause here real quick and just set up to not have webcam. Unless I've already got this set up as a source. So if I disable this. Okay, so I need to image play my webcam. Image file, it's gonna be in here. Is it in this folder? No. Be under here. And here. It's not there. Where did I put it? I can't remember where I put this. Is it in here? No. There's the old overlay. There's the October overlay. There's newer style overlay. It's under FS17. Yes, it is. If I move it down there. There we go. Got the overlay in full without the webcam. Because it's just getting too dark for it to be worthwhile. Let's get OBS back open. So, I am sorry, but the webcams had to be turned off. You know, I've gone on all invisible. Where am I? I'm sat in the dark. I've even turned off my desk light. Great title, by the way. It's the same title as yesterday, because I couldn't be bothered changing it. Let's get this relocated over to the main yard, and let's buy... Because I'm curious now. A couple of lettuce greenhouses. I don't like lettuce, but I dislike it less than I dislike tomatoes. And we should be nearby to the placeable yard. There it is. Let's plunk one down there. One down there. There. That's not going to work there, is it? That is in no way going to work. There where it is. So let's go back to the shop. Oh, I hate when the game decides to do this crap. Come on. Back over here. plonk the second one down. Actually, we could probably do that and that. So 3 greenhouses should be enough. It's 108. It's 6:10, Landon. I live in Ireland. There's such a thing as time zones. Just because it's 1 in the afternoon for you doesn't mean it's 1 in the afternoon for me. It's getting dark here because it's getting late. Nighttime is coming. The sun is setting. It is in the evening time. It's been getting... like, when I tested the light at first, it was fine because it was nearly 5 o'clock. But now that the sun's starting to set, yeah, it got a bit too dark. So let us now, and I need to get this over to this yard anyway because I need to muck out the cows, so it doesn't make much of a difference. I just realised I could have used the telehandler to do this, but we'll use this instead. We'll get to find out if you can use compost on the greenhouses, which in theory you should. Like, in theory... like, in reality, you'd throw compost in because it's cheaper to get than manure in most cases. I know that on a farm manure is probably cheaper because you'll be just getting it as a result of having the animals, but... oh, bloody heck. Coal train just went by, everything smells like coal and diesel. Lovely. Okay, let's put that down so it's not causing a ruckus. And... if this works, then I will use the telehandler to get the rest, because we will need quite a lot of compost. If it doesn't, then we can at least muck out the cows and then use the telehandler to bring the manure over. So it's a kind of a win-win situation. There's no losing here. Hello, Nathan. Great save. No, Ollie. I'm really picky with maps, so let's see if this works. So it's got 0 manure, 0 water. Okay, that does not work. See you, Landon. How's it going? It's going good. This does not work. What maps do I like? UK and Irish style maps that are well made and well optimized. Which rules out 90% of the Irish maps that I've ever seen. I am very, very picky. That is very unfortunate, isn't it? But it's fine because we did have the backup plan of we have a telehandler over here. Cobra I love. I've got a roleplay series going on Cobra, which you guys need to check out if you haven't already. That's might need a filter going. 1174, that makes no sense. All buckets are fill triggers. All buckets are fill triggers, but not all fill triggers are buckets. What time will I be ending the live stream? In theory, 7 o'clock, but I really don't know at this point. So West Coast of the UK map. Yep, it's based on the English-Welsh border. There we go. We should have enough manure at the cow yard to do all 3 greenhouses. If we don't, that's not a big deal because we can cart some down from the pigs. Like, it's not the end of the world. They're not, no, there are not certain ones you need to use for greenhouses. A bucket is a bucket is a bucket, as far as farming is concerned. Like, granted, I know this is a different bucket, but it's going to work perfectly with the greenhouses, and it would have worked perfectly, like, this would work perfectly even if I was using the other bucket. Gotta go have dinner in half an hour. You're having burgers. Very nice, Ollie. Never know, I might have decided to end the stream by then. So if I do need to cart manure, I will not be using the Joskin. I will be using that trailer over there. Which is a lot smaller, but it makes a lot more sense to carry manure in that one. Especially seeing as I still haven't deactivated MR on this save, which I keep meaning to do and keep forgetting. Do need to get water into that as well, which is a bit inconvenient. I should probably think about getting one of the Fleagle water tankers. So that's... how much manure does that take? Does it... is it going to tell me? Or is it just going to kind of shout angrily in my general direction that it might need manure? Ah, manure fill level 83%. That'll do. You love that dump trailer? Yeah, it's a good dump trailer. Does material on the ground reduce FPS? Yes, it does. And if you're on a server and you've got too much of it on the ground, like if you've got one giant pile or a lot of small ones, you can actually crash servers with it. Yeah, I tend to investigate things thoroughly before giving up. So don't worry, I figured it was going to be on one of the fill triggers, I just didn't know which one. Yeah, I'll probably need to cart some manure down here. I also want to kind of clean up the pig manure area a bit again, because I've noticed that it's getting a bit chaotic. I mean, if I'm doing that, would I be as well off carting manure over to here so that it's there already, and then I can just have a skid steer load these up? Might not be the worst idea. You gotta have a heap at the corner. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is like I might move a lot of manure down over there, just build a heap up. That's what I'm thinking, Yanis. That's exactly what I'm thinking, is have that skid steer with a bucket. Load the manure up from a little pile that I make over there. Which... What kind of music do I listen to? On streams, EDM. Off streams, usually metal of some description. Where's the face cam? It's off because the main bulb in my room has blown and it's getting a bit dark. It was on before. It was on earlier. Like, I'm not just running without face cam all day. It was on earlier, but it's after getting too dark now that my little LED light that I use can't keep up. Actually, I just realized I turned that off. I need that so that I can see what the hell I'm doing around here. Because that is kind of my night light. When I want the room to be dark but want to be able to see stuff, I do just have that little LED that you never see, but that is almost always on. I have that on kind of as a night light so that my room illuminates a bit but not overly so. It's particularly good when I got one of my headaches, and darkness helps that. I could use the Itsy. Do I still even have the Slapmobile enabled? Hang on, do I have the Slapmobile enabled? Oh my god, I do. 550 versus 950. The thing is like, the Itsy stuff is too small. It's a lot, and this is an older version of the Itsy I've just noticed. There is a new version out there. The Itsy would cost more as well, because all I need is like a manure fork, which can take $4.90, or a universal shovel, which can take $9.50 over here. I think in terms of like usefulness, the skid steer is probably a better idea. Because I can at least have the skid steer as a utility vehicle around this area. If I had the Itsy, it would literally just be stuck doing the one job ever, because that's all it's really good for. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring this over to the pigs, and then bring a tractor over as well. I might bring... Would the 110 be able to pull that trailer full of manure? I think the 110 would be able to pull that trailer even if it was full of manure. So I'll bring this over to the pigs. I'll then grab the 110, wherever that is. The Itsy is actually really good. I like it, but it is a bit questionable in terms of how it works. But yeah, the skid steer is the most logical option. Because I can even... Could I do what I would like to do? Because what I'd like to do is actually have two skid steers. This sounds odd now. I'd like to have two skid steers, one based over in the yard I'm just coming from now, to deal with the placeable area there, the manure there, and to muck out the cows. I'd also like to have one over at the pigs so I can do the same stuff. To muck out the pigs and sort that stuff out and load up trailers. But then I'd have this kind of with no job at all. Would it be the worst thing in the world if I got rid of this? Do I actually need a telehandler? Ollie, you're playing with fire by spamming like that. Use the herp stump trailer. That's what that's what I plan on doing. Can the skid steer load the herpst? Because, like, I definitely want a skid steer over here because I need to sort out the pigs for straw and stuff, and it's easiest to... You see, that's the question I have, but I do have, on that trailer there, a bucket for a tractor. So what I could do is use, and this is all just in theory, I'm not making a plan here, what I could do is use a skid steer to sort out the pigs 90% in terms of sorting out the corn and the muck, and then just bring a tractor down to load up the muck into the herbst and cart that around. Who wants a Fortnite code? Nobody wants a Fortnite code because your Fortnite code is probably a pirate code. Or from the black market or from G2A, and they're all kind of one's as bad as another in that case. For iOS, yeah, no, people have taste here. Fen Farmer, I don't know if I want to give out to you or not, because I completely agree with the sentiment, but you're not a mod, so maybe you shouldn't be saying that. So consider that as much as I'll give out to you. But yeah, I can't. It's fine, dude. Just maybe be a bit nicer next time. Clear air softing. I've got an idea. I've just come up with a... It's not a brilliant idea, but it's an idea that'll work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the... Where is the 110? Oh, it's over here, isn't it? Let's fold this up and I'll teleport the 110 over to the main yard. I thought that was the polite version. The polite version would have been, like, I don't think anybody here would be interested. Which is what I said. Go away isn't exactly polite. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over to here. Perfect. This may go south fast. It might. But it's more of an idea to test something than to actually be productive. Because if this idea works out, then that streamlines something later on. So let's grab the herbst, and I'll teleport up to the pigs with the herbst, and then you get to see what the idea is. By the way, if you're enjoying, hit the like button. I don't think we'll hit 50 likes, but I'd like to. But so you can now teleport up to here. You're right beside. You're right where I want you. Abandoning trailers and fields again. I know. I'll fix it in a minute. But this is just what I've got the idea. You can sit there. Next up, I buy the bucket for the skid steer. And grab the skid steer. And reset the bucket. Can anybody figure out my plan yet? Also, yes, I am using keyboard and mouse currently, because it's a bit easier to deal with the skid steer like this. So if I go over here now, I can pick up the bucket for the skid steer. If I pick up the bucket for the skid steer, then I can teleport over to the pigs. If I teleport over to the pigs, I'll have the skid steer and the bucket and the herbst all in one place. I can then test if the herbst can be loaded by the skid steer. Now, if the skid steer can load the herbst, well, that gets rid of any need for... Hey, Simon! If this can load the herbst, which is over there... Why does this cost only 3.8? Because Bulletbill had the audacity to criticize mods and people got really unimpressed. For dropping your keyboard. Twice in a row, I doubt that. People got really unimpressed that Bulletbill had the audacity to criticize other mods and they downvoted to oblivion, effectively. Is this tall enough? Hello! Well. Well, well, well. Granted, this is going to load the herbst really slowly. But why did my phone just go off? Ooh. Something to watch later. I don't know if this is going to work. It looks like I've been signed out of YouTube by Stream Deck, but that... Hey, it does work. YouTube API's on the fritz again, though. Hello, Clay. That suddenly makes things a lot easier for me to decide. Because the only job the telehandler really had was loading the herbst and sorting out manure. If I can do that with two skid steers, which skid steers 49,98,000 plus another 1,600, so that's 99,600 versus 84 and 2.8 is 86,800, but this can only be in one place. Yeah, it's much more efficient for me to have comically enough actually 2 skid steers and 2 sets of buckets than to have when I do my next Euro Truck live stream next week. How am I doing? I'm doing well, feeling okay.
Hello, Dave. Is that Dave? Dave's there.
Christian Boz, I almost read that as Bosnia. Bosina, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the RainbowDave Madass. Hope you enjoy your stay. So, it's much more efficient for me to have this is ridiculous. 2 skid steers, 2 sets of buckets, 2 sets of everything, than to have one telehandler, simply because these can be in 2 places at once. Isn't Bosnia a place? Yes! In southeastern Europe and the Balkans. It is a former Yugoslav state, I believe. Bosnians who may or may not be here are Serbians. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Bosnia used to be in Yugoslavia. Used to be conglomerated with Herzegovina, but I think Herzegovina broke off from Bosnia recently. Like a few years ago. Unless that didn't happen and my mind's just playing tricks on me. Have I ever sold manure? No, because I think there's much better uses you can have for manure than just selling it. I'm a bad skid steer driver. Well, I'm using mouse and keyboard, so yes. Do I play any Forza games? Forza 7 occasionally. But I don't like how Forza 7 works. It's too time sinky. I much prefer playing project cars and Assetto Corsa, which granted can be time sinks as well. You were in Croatia last year. My parents were in Croatia this year. And they're off to England in August for a wedding. Two people. My mother joked about getting married or getting married. That examples it. Yes, that does example it, Clay. I think you mean that explains it. So what we're gonna do now is, yeah, just drive over to. No. Engine needs to be on for you to drive, Dave. We're gonna drive over to the pigs. We're gonna drive right here and just tip it here. No. What I've been doing, I finished off field 31 with the seeding. We're now, after doing a bit of an experiment with the in-game greenhouses to see if they take compost. They don't, by the way. So now we're carting some manure over to them so that we can keep them running. Australia Grand Prix tomorrow morning. Lewis Hamilton will win. Ferraris will be second and or third. It really... Bosnia and Herzegovina is still together. Thank you, Yanis. Apparently I was imagining things. The Formula 1 I don't really like anymore. It's too dull. It's too predictable. There's no real excitement in it anymore. I mean, granted, in the 90s and early 2000s when I thought it was at its peak, it was quite predictable as well because it was usually a Ferrari winning, but there was at least engine failures and stuff, and they were running flat out. It's very dull when the drivers for 90% of the race are driving at 90%. Hello, Lewis. One racing series that is bizarre that I think you guys should watch when it starts up, I think next month or the month after, is the World Endurance Championships. If you're into motor racing at all, the WEC is something for you because they're driving ridiculous lengths. Like 2 and 3 hour stints are not uncommon. In 6 hour races, and then you got Le Mans. And I think the 1000k of Spas, or is it 6 hours of Spa? One of the two, but like they're driving flat out constantly. Especially Australia. I like Monza because at least they go quickly. British touring cars, yeah. I mean, racing series that actually has racing instead of just engine conservation. Like the WEC has some of it, WC has some of it, but it still has actual racing. So what I need to do now is I need to go back to the pigs with the New Holland. See what you need to go back over to the pigs with the New Holland Fiat 110. And why is there a fill level chaff warning here? I think something's broken. And I need to grab the water tanker, which is over at the pigs, so that I can bring it up over to this farm and use it on the May 5th with 6 hours of Spa. Ooh, yes. I'll be watching at least some of that. And then, of course, Le Mans. The first Le Mans of this season, which is very bizarre to say. The super season, covering a year and a half. Will be in June. Am I hyped for FS19? Not really, there's not that much info there. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not really, because there's so little information, there's very little to get excited about. Yeah, Porsche will probably win Le Mans. That would be amazing, Ollie, seeing as they're not entered. June 16th, 17th. Yeah, it'll be Toyota 1, 2, possibly 3, depending on how many cars they want to enter. Because it's rigged. Unfortunately, this year they've... Basically, Toyota have written the rule set, and because there's privateer LMP ones, they have to follow a specific set of rules, basically written by Toyota, which says they can't beat Toyota. Last year was pretty good and close. Last year's what put me off Formula 1. Is Audi in Le Mans? They also pulled out. Audi and Porsche pulled out because they're part of the Volkswagen group, and they both had diesel prototypes. Which, if you follow the news over the last couple of years, Volkswagen had a couple of issues with diesels, where they were found flubbing tests and whatnot. Still streaming, I know, I'm surprised too. Doesn't rain in the cabin, ETS. Yeah. But a lot of games do one thing and do one thing well. Farm Sim is in this weird space where it's trying to do a lot and it's doing a few things really well. A few things kind of at a mediocre level, and then some things really badly. And I think that the treatment of rain is one of the things that it doesn't do particularly well. Can I switch to in-cab? Sure. It'll be a static view because I don't have it head tracking on, but there you go. This is literally the only in-cab view you can have. That's my favourite food and drink. Depends on what mood I'm in. So I don't have head tracking on today. Can't be bothered with it. So this is literally the only in-cab view you can get. Is looking dead straightforward static camera. Which is why I don't tend to go in cab during streams too much. Maybe the next version, maybe 19. I do like water, yes. That's mainly because water allows me to talk longer. Comically, my favourite drink is probably like Pepsi Max or a good cup of tea. Yeah, they'll be at Sebring next February, won't they? And the Sebring round will effectively, because they're pairing up with IMSA, which is a bit odd, the Sebring race will effectively be a 24-hour because they'll be doing... Is it the WEC 12 hours will start early in the morning and go to the mid-afternoon? Like, I know they're doing something really weird with it where, like, they're running the 12 hours back-to-back. So, like, I think IMSA finishes up at 10 o'clock in the evening and then the WEC guys come out to start their race. Or something like that. Or at least that's what I've been hearing. I don't know if that's actually true. It'd be very interesting way of doing it. $1,500 miles of Sebring, so they couldn't just call it the WEC 12 hours, could they? They had to come up with a 1,500 mile race. I'm gonna be interested to see how the LMP ones actually cope with Sebring, because there's a lot of it's a track that has a lot of braking while turning, which the LMP ones, because of the hybrid system, or the Toyota specifically, they're not gonna like that because of the way their hybrid works. I guess unless they might have MGU-H. Should be a heat exchanger with the turbine. I don't know how Toyota's hybrid works. I know they've got hybrid, I just don't remember how it works off the top of my head. Because there's two different ways it could work. One would be regeneration under braking, which is how the Audi hybrid worked. The other is kind of a hybrid in a weird way, which is a small bit of regeneration during braking, but mainly regeneration through heat loss in the turbo. You do not like hybrids. You have never seen WEC because the hybrids there are... It's bizarrely R to fill that. Okay. And this one is... Ooh, these take very little. I like this. So that's going to generate how much per hour? 60 per hour. So that's 180 per hour in addition to the little solar farm we have. That's 180 per hour just from effectively manure and a bit of water. I feel like that's better than just selling the manure, because if I was to straight sell the manure I would be getting €88 per ton. If I was to sell the compost I'd be getting €32 per ton, so that's gone way down. Yeah, LMP1 hybrids are 1000 horsepower at full belt. So in qualifying trim or under full deploy, they're 1000 horsepower of beastly monstrosities. Otherwise, they're only about 700 horsepower. So that is them sorted. Everything's in red, yes. It's because I updated the newer version. Next job on the agenda, and I've just realised that I do actually want... Oh, I did need the telehandler for something. Oh well, I've got the wheel loader up there, don't I? I think I do. Unless I sold off the wheel loader as well, in which case I'm in big trouble. Because the next job I have is I want to get the pig food star working. And the pig food star requires potatoes, which conveniently I've harvested recently. Now it's all coming together why I've done some of this stuff. It's all kind of coming together now. And the logic behind my madness of planting potatoes way off up here in a small field is finally coming to light, because that is going to be fed all the way down into the placeable area, into the pig food star, which is effectively going to give us free pig food. Because I need potatoes and a grain crop. I think it's a grain crop I need. Field 13 is seeded in wheat. So between this and Field 13, that I haven't harvested yet, but the problem I have with skid steers, they can't use alone log trailers. They're not supposed to, farming man. Like, they're supposed to be kind of utility vehicles. They're not supposed to be heavy forestry equipment. Curs and regenerative braking. Well, the regenerative braking is what powered Curs originally. Does it have... I'm guessing you mean it has a heat exchanger. Or a thermal generator. So I think 2 scoops of potatoes should be enough to get the Pigfoot Star started. Might not be enough to get it 100%, but it'll get it started. We'll get a trailer load of wheat or barley, I think, should work. You guys are now probably thinking I am a complete lunatic with all the stuff I've decided to run, but if I can get the pig food mixer working, that's going to save me having to transport pig food around. Granted, I will still have to transport it because I've intentionally placed it in an awkward place. So that I don't just end up getting like 1,000,000 pigs and deciding to make a ton of manure forever. I've put it in an awkward place to discourage myself from just spamming pigs and getting all of the manure and slurry ever and just abusing that mechanic. So it's off up here just so that it's out of the way, so that when this has pig food made... Should Landy be live today? Yes, he should. And I actually want to send him a quick message on Facebook. There you go. Yeah, like I thought, that's not 100%. Which is fine. Can I see what this thing takes? Whole grain. Hopefully I don't need to buy the whole grain. He just dropped off TeamSpeak there. I shot him a message on Facebook, which hopefully he'll see before he streams. Because it's kind of pertinent information for him. David, a speed time. Yeah. I don't one finger type. No, I do not. I think that was fairly obvious that I am quite good at typing. Let's try just dumping wheat in and see. It should take wheat. How's my keyboard alive? Because I don't hit the keys particularly hard. It's just that I hit them quickly, so it sound... Like by the time the sound starts coming out, I'm probably already after leaving off the key. Wait, what? Has Oxy screwed up with a silage trigger? You need to buy the whole grain. That'll change. I can fix that. Guess who's doing an edit after the stream? And I need water. Where's the mixer from? It's from Maru's website, I think. Yeah, I'll edit that to be able to take actual grain, because it doesn't make sense me having to put a whole grain in. Like, in reality, yes, you do give pigs a mixture of grains, but in farm sim you can just dump one grain in and it's fine. I'll change it. Or test the triggers to see what they can take. Did Oxy do what I think he did? No, I think it might just be this tractor's a bit wonked. What is whole grain? It's something you can buy specifically for this mod. Or for the pig food mixer mod. I'll check the trigger that's there and see what it takes, and if it's just that I've got the wrong type of grain, then that's fine, but if it doesn't take wheat or barley or canola or anything, then I will tweak it to take wheat, barley, and I think oats would be nice to have as options. Oh, I'm stuck on a... Got stuck on a paddle fork. I was wondering why the tractor wasn't turning there. So I don't know if Landy's seen the message I sent him. Send the grain to the ones with the lowest sale price. See, I don't particularly care what grain it is, I just wanted to be able to take a grain. Wheat and barley make the most sense because that's what you normally give to pigs. So this should be able to take water. It does require water, doesn't it? Water. Where does it take the water? Does the water go in around the back? No. Does the water go in at the side here? No. Does it go into that hole there that I spy? No. This is screwy in so many different ways. Okay. So where does the water go in? Is it that I'm too far away? Oh! Ooh, ooh, ooh. Or. So that's going to start filling up. And you should relatively soon start seeing water. There we go. You see the water covering up the potatoes there. To, I guess, wash them. You need a special tanker. Do I really? Do I really need a special tanker to fill this with water? Looks to me like it's just worked. What's this big box? What's that big box in front of the tractor? You mean the weight? Oh, from the triggers? That was the traffic collision trigger. Be nice to have a beater potato washer. There used to be one in FS15, but it was questionable at best in terms of functions. Let's try and load this again, because I might have been too far out was the problem. Does this one open if I'm standing near it, or if there's a trailer near it? See, do you release one of them? Okay, so they just open when there's a trailer near it. Doesn't necessarily mean it'll accept what's in the trailer. So yeah, I'll have to end the stream here. And I'll go tweak the pig food mixer so that it works the way that I want it to work. And possibly Monday's video will get this working correctly and get some pig food made. But I'm going to call it a stream here. I'll leave you by saying I've been RainbowDave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on Oakfield Farm. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Until next time, stay safe and goodbye.